Hello everybody, welcome to the Netherlands and welcome to Zandvoort for the first Hankook 12 Hours of Zandvoort endurance race. It's an old Formula 1 track, of course, in the dunes at the North Sea coast. Fabulous history, and we're adding to that in this endurance race.
We're over here for the Zandvoort 12 Hours. Fantastic facility, weather's shining on us. The first day that we got it was a little bit overcast. We were worried about the weather for the weekend, but the sun's come out, so it's a beautiful place to be.
The Hankook 12 Hours of Zandvoort will see many different cars, from the Mercedes SLS to touring cars like the Peugeot 208, all competing together. So, how can they do that? We asked event organiser Kerry Willems to explain.
We have touring cars from Clio up to the GT machinery, but there are separate classes. So the Clios, the Renault Clios, they compete against each other. The BMWs compete against us. So there are different classes, and they have all their own competition.
7 different classes in the field, starting with the fastest, the A6 class, mainly GT3 cars, Mercedes, Lamborghini, Chevy, Corvette, and a Ferrari in there. 2 special classes, SP2, silhouette cars mainly there, and the SP3 class, well, that's GT4s and a Porsche GT3 Cup car. A5 petrol touring cars from 3 to 3.5 litres. A3T, that's the turbo cars, 1600 to 2 litres. A2 class for petrol touring cars from 16 to 2 litre, and all the turbo cars up to 1600. And the diesels, well, they're in the diesel D1 class. Now, having an endurance race on the calendar is a first for the Zandvoort circuit. We asked Chief Executive Officer Eric Vyers why there wasn't one sooner.
We have been working for more than 10 years on a new environmental license to get so-called noisy days for our racetrack, which enables us to organize such an international event, because the daily noise restrictions here at the racetrack are quite strong for us, and it's not possible to run with these cars on regular days in a 12-hour compilation. We've got a new license, we got it 2 years ago, and we got in contact with Creventic 2 years ago during the 24 hours of Dubai. We went to visit this great event there in January, and then we started talking about, well, an endurance race here at Zandvoort.
Barcelona and Dubai already feature on Creventic's calendar, so why come to Zandvoort?
Zandvoort is a very historical track, very famous in all over the world. We have over 50 cars on the grid, so there are some tricky corners at Zandvoort, so I think it will be a challenging race.
I like this track. There's some curves which are tighty, but it's good.
This race is very difficult because Zandvoort is very dangerous, very difficult, and I think it's a good race, but a very stress race.
Zandvoort is one of my favorites and exciting tracks, so I'd be happy to be here.
The track is of course old. When we drive in, for example, Dubai, you have a lot more space, so here you have to be very careful. But this is old, this is nice. Here you smell the cars, the oil, the gasoline. It's great, I love it.
I like this track, it's very nice. I'm now here first time in a race car, very difficult, but very nice, and it's a lot of fun to drive here.
The track is very technically demanding. There's about 4 tracks in the world I can think of out of about 94 tracks I've raced on that are more technical than this one. So this is a special track. Dubai is also one of the technically demanding circuits of the world, and it's a very tricky circuit, but it's much wider. But here, generally, if you leave this circuit, then your race is finished. So I think if I could only race one of those 2 circuits, I think I would choose this one, and the food is better here.
Well, not just the food, but the challenge of the circuits, bringing teams to the Hankook 12 Hours. Many of the teams from Holland, therefore, acquainted with the circuit, but plenty that come from further afield too.
There are many people from other countries who like to come. We have even 3 cars from Australia, just to get the feeling from Zandvoort.
We started endurance racing in Australia about 10 years ago, and then we were quite successful in Australia. We wanted to get into some longer 24-hour distance races, so we started with the Dubai 24 Hours about 5 years ago, and we've just sort of got hooked and kept going since then. One of the engineers has won the Australian Touring Car Championship numerous times as an engineer, and we've got guys that I've been racing with and working with for the last 20 years in Australia here, all here working on the cars.
It's just for fun. It's our first 12-hour race in a proper racing car, whereas before we've done it in the Mazda Mark 1s twice. We won one time and came second the other time. So we did all right with that, but here it's a lot more difficult. There's more things in the car to go wrong.
12 Hours of Zandvoort, obviously an endurance for man and machine alike. Experience is necessary.
We participated already in Dubai for several times. Last year with this car, the Corvette, and we ended up fifth on, not on the amateur side. So we thought we'd do Zandvoort. It's our home Grand Prix race. So we'll see what happens. I think the car is very quick. We know the track very well. So we had a little bit of troubles already with qualification. That's why everybody's very busy now, but it will end up good. I hope top 3. That's our aim, I think, for today.
My team have a lot of experience in long distance race with different drivers, with me, with different car. Because I have a Porsche in my home. Normally I use a Porsche and Mercedes, but only for this race on the SLS. Next year is the 7th time I go to Dubai. For this season, driver is interesting racing long race, and I have offered this championship because maybe it's good. It's interesting. The driver spend more time in the car. It's a very beautiful circuit.
I'm driving principally with a Danish guy that I've driven at Nürburgring for 2 years, and then we have a German driver as the third driver in the car. So we're a multinational team.
We are 3 gentlemen drivers, Pierre-Yves, Jean-Michel and I. So we want to do something good. The strategy first is to finish the race as usual and do our best in the class we are.
It's 10 time I driving in this race. 24 hours Dubai, 12 Mugello, all the race.
Yeah, actually I'm in my 20th year as a racing driver, so this is kind of my anniversary race. But it's a coincidence. I already have a history with this team, with the Nissan team, Nissan Netherlands. I drove with the team for the past 2 seasons, so they asked me again for this race, and maybe we'll do some more races this year.
Friday the 30th of May 2014, and the starting grid's been prepared. The spectators get a fabulous chance to get up close and personal with the cars and the drivers. But of course, earlier in the weekend, there were free practices and qualification. During that quali session, the Hofer Racing team took their number 1 car to pole position.
And the qualifying was quite well. I had some difficulties with the traffic sometimes, but at the end my lap was quite good enough to manage pole position. At the race itself, we will see how it goes. For sure, the first 3 hours now on Friday will be a bit, I think, calm down a bit, and I think we will drive full attack tomorrow. But at the end, we will see. We want to defend our first position, and then we will see.
The Hofer Racing team have the number 2 car also on the front row, and usually with exactly the same drivers as the pole sitter. Third position is the Ferrari of Scuderia Praha. The rest of the start grid, mostly as expected, first 4 rows all GT3 cars, followed at 9th with the first SP2 class car from Las Morash. Teams and drivers from over 20 countries represented on the grid, and clerk of the course, Martin van der Parvet, is getting ready to start the race.
I think it's going to be a very nice race. We have good weather, teams who know us, so I think it's going to be a fine race.
And we'll be back to start the Hankook 12 Hours of Zandvoort in just a few moments' time. This is the Hankook 12 Hours of Zandvoort. The cars have just done 2 warm-up laps. It's time to race now as the clock ticks to 4 o'clock. The first 3 hours of racing are about to start. And the number 2 Hofer Racing Mercedes-Benz beats its pole-sitting teammate into the first corner. Maxi Burke lost pole and the lead to his teammate Christian Frankenhout.
He went on full throttle before me, before the red light was off, and I had no chance to defend pole position. It was not the best way from him, but I didn't care because we are on the same car. Just let him go.
Oh, it was a little bit too early, but it was fine at the end. We had a good first stint. Both cars were 1 and 2.
The number 30 Top Auto Tyler BMW started from 12th, overtaking the GC Automotive 88 car, started from 10th. And in the front, the cars pretty much how they started, apart of course from the switch between the 1 and the 2 Hofer Mercedes-Benz. Not everyone getting it all right early on, and on the first lap the 89 GC Automobile factory car spins out before the last corner. German wheels BMW number 27 trying to overtake the ATM Clio, the 51 car, already gained 3 positions.
When the race starts, it's quite confusing. There's a lot of cars, and cars is going much quicker, and slower cars and so on. So in the beginning it's a mess, but so you have to be calm and just drive carefully.
Good news for the 89 GC 10 V8, it's soon back on track and circulating.
That started at the start of the race. I think it was in the 3rd lap. Another car hit our car in the rear, so his rear bumper went off with the wind. We can very good drive without this this bumper, so yeah, for the looks it's not good. For the sponsors who were on the bumper, it's not good as well, but in this case it's good.
The lap times between the fastest and the slower cars can be over 30 seconds, so in round about 3 laps the front of the field is in traffic, and that means the blue flags are out, indicating to the slower cars that the leaders are coming up. It's hard to have a hard and fast strategy, as the mix of cars in the field makes this endurance race quite a challenging one.
It's impossible to have a special strategy. Just we want to stay on the line. Yes, all the time. And after, I think it's good.
We can, if we keep out of the trouble and keep everything in one piece, then I think we have to we can be on the podium basically. Yeah.
For Team Red Camel, trouble did not avoid them, sadly. Technical issues forcing them to pit, and then the car had to go back into the garage for more repairs. 40 minutes before the car was ready to race again. That's going to make life very difficult for them to get on the class podium. At the head of the fields, the race is already an hour in. The top 10, not a lot of surprises yet. The top 5, all GT3 cars, followed by SP2 and SP3. Not quite as close in the other classes. The D1 diesel class, the top 4 are a lap apart. The ill-stricken Red Camel of Breukers, Oghink, De Vries and Kurainen have only done 10 laps. Routine pit stops at the head of the field, including for the leaders, but after the car number 1 has come in for its driver change, it's back in again with problems.
The race up to now was quite okay. After the starter was P2. Then we managed it quite well to go through the traffic, but now we have a failure with the ABS, which cost us many laps, but that's it, yeah.
We changed the sensor from the ABS from the front of left, and we drive another.
Well, this puts a whole new perspective on the Hofer Racing team's tactics. The cars can't now run together at the front of the field, so the number 2 car has to fight its way through on its own. The English Bledini Motorsport team with a BMW has a very odd situation that puts them to the side of the track for quite a while.
We had the chip in the key fail and had to go off and get a new key and immobilizer from a scrapyard and put it in the car, and then go to the BMW garage and get it reprogrammed. And it cost us a lot of time.
It's a tough track, Zandvoort, especially for those who have never been here before, and not everybody gets it right first time.
I came out on this new track. I have my first lap on this track, so it's a very interesting but difficult track. There's a lot of action out there, a lot of different cars, fast ones, slow ones, and I'm in between, so I have to overtake cars, and I had to let the fast ones pass, which gave some tight situations because some of the turns are very close and small. So it was fun.
An unusual problem for Renger van der Zande as the gull-wing door in his Mercedes-Benz pops open. Somehow he managed to get it closed while he was driving and avoid a costly extra pit stop. Well, they say time flies when you're enjoying yourself, and all of a sudden the second hour is done, but the top of the leaderboard looking very different than after the first 60 minutes. At that point, the Lippert Lamborghini was in position 4, but now leads. And the V8 Racing Chevy Corvette was down in 19th position, and now they've fought their way up to the number 3 spot. At 11, just outside the top 10, the 76 Nissan Netherland of Van Huis, Bohus and Cobalt, leading the SP3 class for GT4 cars. Now let's take a look at one of the teams who have more challenges to overcome than most. The 95 car is Mission Possible by Sorg Rennsport, a completely paraplegic driver lineup from Austria, Germany, Poland and Holland.
We found each other on internet. I'm a regular driver of the DNRT, the Dutch National Racing Team. But we are all famous in our own country. But none of the European countries has enough disabled drivers to form a team. So thanks to the miracle of internet, we found each other. We have meetings on Skype. And this year BMW Motorsport started a cup using a big fat BMW with an automatic gearbox, which is perfectly suited for our needs.
The founder of Mission Possible asked us if we could build a car, a race car for them, and prepare it for the race and do the maintenance and all those things. And it's a very, very interesting job for us.
Our safe speed was like 202, 203, which is not really quick, but the car is very reliable. Fuel economy was good, tire was good, and sponsors, we got huge cars with lots of space for stickers. So
Mission entirely possible then, and surely an open invitation for more teams to consider drivers from alternative sources. As part of their social responsibility programme, the Clio team of Speed Lover has some new talent in their garage.
We are working with people on the Clio with mental disabilities. They have never the chance to work on a race car. It's a really special for that guys. And it's really nice that we, Bureau Maatschappelijke Ondersteuning, can give them the chance to work on a race car on the 12 hours on Zandvoort. They're a real asset. I need them. Without them, I cannot drive with the Clio. You can see that guys really want the fun. You see the eyes. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And they are good mechanics, really good mechanics. The drivers pay a lot of money to drive. You must go with a good team. And we have now a really good team. And I think we go the 24 hours of Barcelona. I think we go with the same team.
Alexander van der Waal, rightfully proud of his Mission Possible team. Also proud, Christian Dick, I'm sure, his Ginetta by Speedworks Motorsport team, fast in SP3.
Well, we managed to get out front really because it's a little bit of a series of combinations. We've made no mistakes as yet. Touch wood, we've had no problems with the car. So we've also had pretty good pace, and it's that kind of balance that you need to do an endurance race and do well. But our competitors have had one or two problems, a couple of offs, one or two mechanical issues, which has obviously aided our cause.
We've got our lead car sitting just outside the top 10, and the second car's only 2 spots behind that, just on 1 lap behind. We had a little issue with one of the other cars running off the road, and we lost a few laps, but it's a long way to go tomorrow, so we'll be able to come back and hopefully we can finish 2 cars inside the top 10.
We were already after 3 hours. We were on the first position in the diesel class with 2 laps before the second one. So it's really a good track for our car, really. It's a lot of fun for driving here. It's a good competition. Preventage is a nice organization.
Off-track excursion for the 50 of Wolf, Corrado and Thorani, and they're not the only ones to have had problems.
We lost the toe links on the left rear, and we spent 18 minutes in the pit to repair it. So it's still early, but 80 minutes you don't get back so easily.
There's a lot of slow cars, so it's keeping out of trouble, and that's the main thing. And then you get up, I think you get up high at the podium. No problem. If you have no problems, it should be all right. We are in the 3rd position at the moment, but we have a lot of penalty time because my second driver, Alex, he's a bit blind for the yellow flag. So we have we have 200 seconds penalty already.
When we stopped, we were P4, but we knew that the Corvette still had to do a penalty, and also we knew that the one other guy still had to do a pit stop, the Ferrari. So we knew that they were going back. So actually we're P2 when the break of the race was there. So it was all fine.
At the end of the 3rd hour, the checkered flag falls, but we're expecting a 12-hour race. So let's have some explanation.
We had just the first part of the 12 hours race. We had already 3 hours are finished. But in Zandvoort you have strict noise regulations, of course, which we have to respect for the citizens of Zandvoort. So tomorrow we start at 10 o'clock for the last 9 hours, and so in total we have 12-hour race in Zandvoort.
Well, that's a bit a shame, but I understand it. It all has to do with environment and noise, and should be better to do it in 12 hours in a row, but it is what it is.
The cars also in Park for me, the scrutineering bay. They are with security just to make sure there's no refueling, no tire changes. So we exactly start in the same position as we ended today.
Yeah, we'll be well rested tonight. We'll come back tomorrow. 9 hours will seem like quite a short race tomorrow. But you know, we'll go away, look at some data and some video from today, talk about some strategies and stuff like that for tomorrow, go over a few things with the drivers, none of which have driven on the track here before, and then we'll get ready to tackle tomorrow as best we can.
There was one thing that was very, very nice that came out later. That is that after the 3-hour race, the cars go in the Park Vermeer. That means the teams have that evening nothing to do, so they make a party and they have a barbecue. And they enjoy that greatly with their own team and with their neighbors, and so it comes out very well.
Well, most of the cars are in Park Vermeer, but some cars still being worked on.
There are 2 cars quite damaged, and there is a rule in the regulations that is allowed with a penalty of 10 laps. So only the teams which have a really problem can make use of this, and all other cars are going to compete tomorrow as they finished.
So a 10-lap penalty and some serious issues for some of the teams. Hofer Racing, alongside its own engineers, has some from the manufacturer.
We are here, and I think that's part of our, of our project, of our customer sports program, to be here, to support, to be here. We have even a lorry with spare parts here from our company. So it's, it's our kind of service we are giving. At the moment, we do not really know what happened. So we are taking out the gearbox to see what happened, what went wrong, and then we have to decide what to do, whether to replace it, whether to repair it, or whatever.
So the first leg of the Hankook 12 Hours of Zandvoort is over. Hofer Racing back on top spot with the number 9 Ferrari of Scuderia Pra in second, and Corvette V8 Racing, the number 5 car, in third. A2 class with the smaller engine cars. The Clio of Team Kia Raja have a decent lead of 2 laps on the second place car, but positions 2 to 5 close and on the same lap, and that might still become a real battle tomorrow. We'll be back with more racing from Zandvoort after this. It's Saturday morning and the teams are getting ready for the second part of the Hankook 12 Hours of Zandvoort. Spectators able to shop and even look into the back of each of the pit boxes. This is all put together by Creventic, now renowned for 12 and 24-hour endurance races, but originally a race team.
One of Creventic people that were racers in our organization, they were in the desert in Dubai, and they called me up and they say, we have found a fantastic racetrack here in the desert. Shall we organize a 24 hours here? That's where it started.
And Creventic kept working together with the Dutch national racing team.
The DNT is a very good partner of us. We work already 10 years with them. So they helped us to build this up, and now we still cooperate very good with those enthusiastic people.
Creventic, it's a very good organization. It started as a low-profile organization, but it has developed itself with all the drivers, with all the teams, to a very big international organization for endurance races. It's really interesting to be here.
The best amateurs of the world come here to compete in this series, and but professionals can also participate.
It's my first time that I'm entering this series, and I think it's a very well-oiled machine. I really like it. I like the concept. I like the series. Maybe I'll try to do some more of this stuff.
I think it's a very, very good organization for the drivers. Like us, we are only gentlemen drivers. So it's a very good to get pleasure to have the capacity of good racing. And every year we see that they are going to get some new tracks. Like for example, next year we have a race in Paul Ricard, which is a very famous track too. So we always be happy to be and to race with Creventic.
Yeah, Creventic do a fantastic job, and you know, like that's one of the reasons why we keep coming back, because we enjoy the racing so much. It's very fair, but you can also race the car that you want. You can make the car that you think will do the job the best, and that's what we've decided to do with the Mark Focus.
To work with Creventic is very easy, very nice. It's a really, let me say, familiar atmosphere. If something happens, we talk each other, we find a solution, and that's it. It's a really fantastic crew, and I'm really proud to work together with Creventic.
I really have to thank, of course, the competitors, the drivers, the teams, the mechanics. They make this possible. And after the screens, of course, the people from Zandvoort, the people from the Dutch national racing team, of course, our title sponsor Hankook, and of course, our complete staff.
At the end of the 3-hour stint, we also had some gearbox problems. So now I'm in the pit box. The guys put in new gearbox overnight. And now we had to start, we're like more than 20 laps behind. So for this car, podium is not possible, but we want to see what we can do. Well, Maxi will start drive the number 2 car, and then we will for sure want to go for the win. That's what we came for, and that's still what we aim for car number 2.
With a bit of luck, we are aiming for the overall podium. Definitely class winner, but with a bit of luck and long stints, stay out of trouble, might succeed for overall podium.
My plan is faster than the front of my cars. Ja, het is mijn home track, dus I can dit serieus good.
Right now we are in position number 1 in the class. And that was because we just stayed on the tarmac and drove carefully but quick.
Yesterday during the second hour, they have a little crash with one other car. They lost 3 laps. If we are finished the race, if we not finish, it's not for this problem.
It's still very long. It's still 9 hours. We had a little bit of bad luck yesterday, but we got the car back on the lead lap. So. You know, still a long way to go, and we are now in the front, so let's see how it goes.
Not quite at the front for Peter Cox and the Scuderia Praha Ferrari. That's the Hofer Racing Mercedes-Benz number 2 as the best of the A6 GT3 cars. The other class leaders in SP2, position 9 for the Renault Megane of Las Moros Racing. Speedworks Giannetta's 105 car leads the SP3 class from position 17. BMW number 82 for MDM Motorsport is leading Class A5 in position 22. A3T from position 31 for the number 41 NKPP Racing Team. K-Raja and the 106 Clio lead off Class A2. And finally, Recce Racing Team have their D1 class leading BMW Diesel in position 46. The pace car has left the track and we're ready to restart the race. The cars are heading down towards turn 1, one of the most famous at Zandvoort, that's Tarzan.
Yesterday, after 3 hours, we were nearly at the 20 position general, and then we had to restart by class. So we had to start at nearly at the end of all the competitors, and then we have a lot of slower cars before us. Just in the Tarzan corner, there was a Seat behind me. And then he broke out, and he came in front of me, and together we crashed against the wall. And it's a race incident, I believe. I didn't really touch him hard, but I touched the wall hard, and that was the problem. Car is broken.
And at the sharp end of the field, the Hofer Racing Mercedes are back together again. The gearbox change on Friday evening cost the number 1 car 14 laps, but already it's passed all the other cars in the A6 class, showing at least that it has its pace back. Now, can the cars work together to get at least one of them on the podium? The Resi Racing BMW causes a code 60 and the whole field has to slow down, but once the flatbed has the car back into the paddock, it's back to racing again. Now remember, this is a continuation of a race that started on Friday and you have to work with those results. That makes it difficult if the first part of the race wasn't particularly good for you.
Yesterday for me is disaster because my driver after 15 minutes goes in the gravel and finish in position 51. Now today is more better because it's a long race. It's important to stay in the track and not to mistake. In this case the car is okay. The guy during the pit stop is speed and now the result is 15.
It's a testament to the hard work of the mechanics and the reliability of the cars that all bar one of our Friday competitors are back on the track on Saturday morning. Saxon Motorsport damaged their 96 BMW. Too much to be able to continue, but 51 cars out there, still pretty impressive. After the first quarter of an hour, it's starting to get clear at the head of the field. The Scuderia Praha Ferrari has regained second position. Meanwhile in the classes, the 82 BMW of MDM Motorsport expanding its leading class. It started, remember, with just one lap over second place, now has a 2-lap lead. No such luck for the 104, the Audi R8 of Red Camel Jordans.nl. Their car needed to be towed back to the pit boxes and it looks like it may need to retire. The overall lead, as well as that in A6, is still held by the number 2 Mercedes-Benz of Hofer Racing. In the SP3 class, it's the Speedworks Ginetta that's out in front. Skidding cars on the track never good, but when it's caused by oil, that is even worse. A new code 60 is thrown, enabling the marshals to clean the track. This is the second code 60 of the day, but as many might not know what the code 60 is, we've asked Baz Curtin, team owner of Baz Curtin Racing, to explain.
Code 60, that means you must drive 60 kilometers an hour on the whole track. It's not allowed to drive faster. The organization can check it with the lap times, because the lap time with 60 kilometers an hour on this track is 4 minutes and 18 seconds. So you may not exceed the 4 minutes and 18 seconds, so you can drive 4 minutes 19 or 20. That's okay. Faster, you will get penaltied. That's because of any accident on the track. Normally what we are used to is the safety car, but with the safety car you get so many mess on the track. The complete field is going together, everybody's coming in and going out again, and everybody's speeding up to the back of the field behind the safety car. So code 60 is actually a very more efficient and more safe way to reduce the speed on the track. So everybody must stay on the same place. You can come in for a pit stop. You can come in for a replace of the tires, refuel. So I hope it will be in Formula 1 in a couple of years, because it's a very, very good rule to get the field like it was.
Well, even though the track has been cleared, the code 60 flags stay out and ambulances and even an air ambulance arrive at the circuit. Fortunately, this is not for anybody on the track, but a medical emergency in the paddock. But as the circuit ambulance crew were attending to this, the race had to wait longer to continue at race pace. In the pit lane, business as usual, of course, cars needing new tyres and fuel too. Green flag out, back to race speed.
When you drive a Clio, which is not the fastest car on the track, you have to look very much in the mirrors, because you have faster cars all the time that's passing you. So that's, you have to look ahead, but also a lot in the mirrors to not get crashed.
The faster cars, when you look and you see them, that they come, you make them place, then it's not so difficult for driving.
It's very busy and you need to take care of it. It's not so much about how quick is your lap time, it is a bit how to survive. So you have to be really, really careful and leave a second here and there, but stay out of trouble, and that's the way to win this race.
I'm almost 50 years old. We did last time in Dubai as well. We just keep on driving, and we end up fifth. So if you just keep on driving, I think that's the best recipe for a good result.
Well, in the paddock, it's business as usual for most, but time for a bit of shut-eye for some before they go racing. let's turn our attention to the new sponsor of the Creventic 24-hour series.
Hankook is of course the title sponsor of this event, and also for fairness we have chosen to have one brand of tires so that every team has exactly the same compound and exactly the same fair competition. That's a big advantage for that, and that makes this also a challenging race.
We have special endurance tires, we have a special compound, it's so-called C52, which is a medium compound, and it's especially developed for endurance race, for long distance, 4 hours and more.
We're now on the Hankook tyre, which is a fantastic tyre, but it's just we've got a lot of getting used to and knowing how to get the best out of the tyre and making sure that we can make it last and still have some performance at the end of each of the stints.
The Korean tyre company Hankook has proven to be well equipped to supply endurance racing tyres.
Racing is a part of our whole company strategy. Our main business is passenger cars, truck tires, passenger tires already, all original equipment, OE for the most important brands all over the world, plus racing, of course. Our aim is always endurance race, and it was a big opportunity for us to take the most important and most successful racing event in the endurance world to catch the Creventic event.
Well, we know the Hankook tires from the GT4 series, which we also drive. I think it's a great tire, and that's why DTM drives on them. So we think they're great.
Actually, for each car they have the optimum size. So from big Mercedes they have really big tires, but for Clio they have a smaller type of tires, so that it really suits the car.
During the stint, I drove for 1 hour and 15 minutes. And I could really do very constant lap times, so that was a good experience with the new tire.
So you don't have a really high peak, but they are fast and they keep fast. I think we can do 2 hours with one set of tires, so that's for us very good.
The Hankook seems to do well. We have a stint of 2 hours on the tires now, and they kept up quite well. But we have to do some adjustments to make them last longer, because it should be nice to have 3 hours on the car. But for now, for 2 hours, they still look okay.
We've done the whole 3 hours today on one set of tyres on all the cars. No problem at all, and we expect that they'll keep going for quite a distance.
The whole event was very successful. We get only big compliments from all drivers, from the teams, from the organizers. A big compliment to my whole crew. They work, I don't know, 36 hours in a row now to satisfy all the teams. And for the end of the day, it was a fantastic event for us.
No matter how good the Hankook tyres are, if the rest of the car doesn't work properly, you're in trouble. And just out of the pits after repair, the 104 R8 comes to a halt just before Tarzan has to come in on the back of a tow road behind the Nissan recovery vehicle. Also in the pit lane, the SP2 class leader, the Renault Megane Trophy of Las Moras Racing Team, and it's into the pit box. This is going to cost valuable time. Absolutely standard stop for the number 2 Mercedes-Benz of Hofer Racing while its team car spins on the other side of the circuit and is fortunate not to be picked up by the following cars. Overall leader is now Scuderia Praha, the blue number 1 on the side of that car, showing its overall position. At the 5 hour mark, the top 10 shows that change in the positions. The Ferrari leads, but a big surprise is the Peugeot 208 in 9th position overall. In A5, the second team Ultron cars doing nearly as good. Their 205 car has 11th position overall. We'll be back with more racing from the Hankook 12H ZANDVOORT in just a moment's time. Welcome back to the first ever Hankook 12H ZANDVOORT. We've just passed the 5 hour mark. Endurance racing, like here at the Hankook 12H ZANDVOORT, a true test for man and machine. You might be prepared for most repairs that need to be done, but who expects a gull wing door not being able to close? Well, there's always racer tape. For some others, the race are going better. Did the 90 car need to have some repairs earlier today? Well, now it's picking up pace and places in the SP2 class. Mission possible by Sorg Rensport not having everything going correctly, but the 95 car is turned around quickly. The number 2 car has come in to have some repairs done. This is one of the favourites. Not only do drivers pit for repairs, tyres and driver changes, they also need to get petrol or diesel. We've set up a refuelling station at the end of the pit lane and fire marshals are at hand to make sure that everything is operated safely. When fuel is part of the tactics, if there's a queue of course, you're bound to lose time. So let's have a look at the standings after 9 hours of racing. It's the Ferrari 458 GT3 that leads out, and whilst their pace on the track has been good, it's also about pit stop times. They've spent 12 minutes less in the pits than the Mercedes-Benz that chases them, and that's 7.5 laps round here. Their lead, 8 laps. With only 3 hours to go, the drivers are eager to push the car, some of them a little bit over-eager, and it doesn't always end as well as it did for the Mark Australia Ford Focus there.
We came out of corner 3, it's the Huguenots corner, and I was in a train of 4 cars. And we overtook one car on the inside of the corner, so we overtook him on the outside. And well, I just looked at the footage at race control, and well, it seems like he just didn't see me, as if I wasn't there. And he turned over to the right, I turned over to the left, and that was because he was very slow in the corner. So I thought something was wrong with his car. So I totally misjudged that one, but he didn't see me as well. This one is unfixable, so we are now retired, it's over.
Here's a real success story. The Red Camel Tech-Tick Seat has been in the pit all day, but due to the determination of the crew, it's finally off and joining the race. Things change quickly in endurance racing, and at the head of the field, big drama. The leading number 9 Ferrari comes into contact with the 47 Renault Clio of DK Racing Events, and also involved the Ginetta of Speedworks Motorsport leading the SP3 class. One of the speed-loving Clios had to avoid the incident, and the Team Ultron Peugeots in the gravel to get by too. The drivers from all 3 of the cars are taken to the medical centre. Pisarek from the Ferrari is okay and released. Christian Dick and Sonny Nielsen have to go to local hospitals, but I'm delighted to report that they're recovering at home now. Of course, this changes the race, and car collection Mercedes-Benz takes over the lead overall, while the PG Motorsport Porsche takes over the lead in the SP3 class.
Yeah, we win in the class, but yeah, not on the way that we wanted. I think we can take him at the track because we are 2 or 3 seconds faster before the crash, the last hour. So it looks good for us. So I want to pass him on the track and win in the class. But yeah, with this crash, it was yeah, all over.
Moving into the last hour, the Hankook 12H ZANDVOORT has the number 33 SLS of Car Collection Motorsport holding on to that first position, with the second car in 3rd position in the A3T class. It's both Seat Leon Super Corpus of the Baz Curtin team that have a clear lead. The number 42 car as Baz Curtin Racing, and their number 41 car is NKPP Racing. Even though there's not much time left to race, people are still trying very hard indeed.
I drive over 1.5 hours, I think, and it was okay, but now we in front, and Mirko drives now, and after Mirko comes Renger to the end, and I hope at the end we are on first.
Yeah, we're enjoying it. Everything seems to be going all right. The car's going really well. Just an old bloke plodding around, keeping out of the way. So yeah, nothing spectacular.
We will third. My teammates has a little bit crash, but we keep the place and we finish third at the end.
I was ready to go in the car, and then there was some damage which caused a spoil of the diesel. So the car got in, and then Cor asked me to go into the Lotus Evora. So I said, okay, we switched to Lotus. And I got in, and I just finished the race with the Lotus.
Driving at Zandvoort's a real experience on this first Hankook 12H ZANDVOORT.
I think a lot of people will be very pleased when this race is finished. It's only 12 hours, but it's been very demanding, particularly for the drivers on the circuit. You are working very hard, changing gears, braking, turning, much more than even tracks like Nürburgring, which are long and open and flowing. This one is tight and narrow and demanding.
The 33 Mercedes from Car Collection has a 5-lap lead over the Hofer car, which had a 5-lap lead over the second of the Car Collection machines. But amazingly, the second place car breaks down right at the end of the race, but the race finishes just in time for Hofer Racing, leaving them a 1-lap lead over the number 3 car collection Benz. All the hard work has paid off for the 33 Mercedes-Benz of Car Collection Motorsport and their drivers Peter Schmidt, Christian Bracker, Renger van der Zande and Mirko Schultes, who become the first winners of the Hankook 12 Hours of Zandvoort.
Regarding the marshals, we have something about 200 on this track. It's a big group of volunteers, very enthusiastic, very motorsport minded. So with 200 people make also this happen.
It's volunteer and I do this because I like cars, I like the exciting of racing.
From 1985 I've been coming over regularly. I'm the only English guy on this particular post, but there are 5 English marshals here. They're thoroughly enjoying this particular event.
Following the international theme and a tradition set at the 24 Hours of Dubai, the travel to the podium is of an international nature too.
It was really tough, a lot of traffic, more than on the Nordschleife at the end, and we have 2 technical problems. Even now in the last round we stay with the car outside and still be in the result. But we are 3 Mercedes overall, so that's a great result for the Mercedes SLS AMG GT3, and everybody's happy. Yeah?
We were, I think, on number 7, so we had hard work today and it worked all out. We made a little mistake during the first code 60, but the rest was okay and we could do a lot on the track, so it was good.
We have Renger van der Zande. He make a perfect job. He make very good job and he brings the car in the front. And the other 3 gentlemen drivers can hold the places, and so we make a good job.
The celebrations on the podium only the start of the party at Zandvoort.
So the next race is in September. Then we have the 24-hour race of Barcelona, which is always also is a big hit. So we're really already looking forward to that. But first we're going to celebrate this success story.
And that celebration was held at a nearby beach house. All the teams invited for a barbecue and a reprise of the top 3 podium for each separate class. Overall winner and A6, the Mercedes-Benz number 33 of Car Collection Motorsport. SP2 winners, the 86 Audi of Besser Racing Team. Porsche 21 of PG Motorsport NL won the SP3 class. And winners in Class A5 were Team Altran's Peugeot. Seat 42 of Baz Curtin Racing won the A3T class, while the Peugeot number 48 of HM Motorsport were victors in the A2 class. And in the D1 diesel class, it was a win for the 120D number 75 of the SVDP Racing Team. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the Hankook 12 Hours of Zandvoort. I'm John Heindorf. Final word to Creventic's Kerry Willems.
Our next race will be in Barcelona, actually a 24-hour race, but I can already announce next year we will have again the Hankook 12-hour race of Zandvoort.
Let's have a quick recap of the weekend so that we can look ahead to the next Hankook 12 Hours of Zandvoort in 2015. It'll be another endurance racing party in the dunes. We hope to see you here. For more information on the Creventic Endurance Series races, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or check the website at 24hseries.com.